This is Joshua Hart for Seconds Out. Delighted today to be joined by Terri Harper here over Zoom. Terry, really appreciate your time today. And how is everything?
No problem. It's good, thank you. All good. Yeah, just had a steady session this morning. Zone two 10K, and then back and just doing a few bit of media work, and yeah, just a nice steady day really.
Well, the media work's got to be done, especially ahead of such a big night. May 23rd, you'll be headlining Doncaster Stadium in another world title defence. Just looking at the occasion itself and being able to headline at home at the stadium, was there ever a point in your career where you thought, you might not be able to get this opportunity?
Um, yeah, I'd say I guess this opportunity came up, and I didn't expect to headline obviously, but the fact that I wanted to be in a stadium in front of the home crowd, and when I heard that GBM were coming to Doncaster and they were doing exactly that, my team worked hard and got me the position on the show, and then to go on headline, I feel like it's every fighter's dream, and I'm very grateful for obviously GBM, for Eco Power, and everyone who's gone on behind the scenes to make this dream a reality for me, really.
How did the conversations go with Matchroom and GBM from what you know to make this opportunity happen, especially being a Matchroom signed fighter? How easy was it for them to let you go over to GBM for a one-off fight, but a life change, not a life change opportunity, just a lifelong dream?
Yeah, pretty easy. Obviously, Eddie and Frank and the team at Matchroom obviously knew how much this opportunity meant to me, and they could see, yeah, like I said, how much it meant to me. So there were no, um, there was just no grey areas or anything. They're kind of like, yeah, go do your job, and yeah, pretty easy, simple, straightforward.
And the woman in the opposite corner to yourself will be Natalie Zimmerman. What do you know about Natalie? Undefeated so far in her career, but looking at her style, what do you expect her to bring on fight night?
Very unorthodox. Obviously, she's come from kickboxing, and so what I've seen of her, she looks like she's got a good engine. She's her work rate's non-stop, and I've got to be prepared to match that on the night. And obviously, this is a step up for her, but she's got a great opportunity to come and cause the upset. And for me, I don't want to be falling at the last hurdle again before these big fights that are around the corner. So fully focused on the job I got to do, and treating this camp like I would any other. And I want to go out there and put on a great first defence of my world title in front of the home crowd. So and go out there and put on a statement performance as well.
You mentioned big fights being around the corner. Do you feel any of them will top this occasion here, though, on May 23rd? Do you feel while there might be bigger names out there, when you look at the occasion and look at what it's going to be like on the night, obviously you've not experienced that yet, that's still to come, but do you see anything bigger than the opportunity coming up in front of you right now?
No, this is special, and it's special for obviously the fans who have followed my career from the very beginning. They've been with me through the highs and the lows, and special for the local like next generation of fighters, like the kids we have in the gym, and things like my younger sister. She's 8 years old. She's going to be coming to the show, and my nieces and nephews, they're going to be coming to the show. And I just think it's going to be such a special night, and one that I know obviously I've got a job to do, and I've got to be fully focused on that. But I want to remember to go out there and enjoy the whole experience also, and really take it for what it is. So
Is it a case where, as much as you want to take in the occasion and really soak it all in, it is still another fight in your career and it's another fight where you have to go and get the job done? Is that how you're kind of viewing it?
yeah, 100%. There's no half-hearted performance from me. I'm coming out there, and I see Natalie Zimmerman as someone who's trying to take everything away from me that I've worked so hard for. I've brought myself back so many times, and I feel like now I'm in a position where like I'm knocking at the door for these big mega fights, and that's what's going to be after this. So I've got to go out there and put on a clinical performance, and my best performance in my career, and really show everyone in the lightweight division that yeah, Terry is here, and I'm here to make a statement and to show people. So many people wrote me off. It's ridiculous, but I guess that's part of the game, and I'm just in a good place now with my boxing. I love the sport again. I love what I'm doing, and I've got a great team behind me, and I just know they're really going to push me to the top. So
You talk about falling in love with boxing again. How did you reignite that love for the sport? Because a lot of people have a case where once they lose love for it, they struggle to find it back. But it's very clear that you found it again. How did you go about finding the love for the sport again?
I think just switching a few things up. Like I got Paul Jones, my amateur coach, so he's back on board as my main coach now. He's been my coach now for a couple of camps, and the training is honestly it's ridiculous. It's so hard and it's brutal, and um, but that's what I thrive off, and I'm learning every time I step in them gym doors. I'm learning. That's as a fighter, that's what I've always wanted is someone to break something down for me, and we'll sit and we'll digest the session that we've just done after. And I feel like it's more than just going and hitting the bags, hitting the pads. Everything's got a reason why we're doing something and why we're working on something. And we've been doing drills that I've been pulling off in sparring, and for the first time, I've been walking back after a spar and smiling in corner because I just know things are working, and sometimes things just click, and that's happened a lot recently, and it's a nice feeling to see your hard work paying off. And I think obviously finding coming back down to lightweight and finding my true weight where I feel like I perform best at also helps. So it's exciting.
And just looking around that lightweight division, we know there's been a bit of back and forth over recent months between yourself and Caroline Dubois. Is that a fight you want to entertain once, obviously all focus on May 23rd, but once that's all said and done and you've defended that world title, is it a Caroline Dubois unification fight next?
100%. I think that's a fight that makes sense. Obviously, Dubois had a lot to say. She was someone who will want to say where do I go in my career now, that obviously I should retire and stuff. And here we are where we could be going on for a unification fight, and she's the one um, calling me out for a fight. So it's boxing is a crazy sport, and it's crazy how tables can turn quickly. So obviously, I'm fully focused on the job I got to do, but from that, I then want to go on to unifying this division, and for me, that's the next fight that makes sense. So
We know obviously about the back and forth that you and Caroline have had, and there was the back and forth, especially going around you getting offered a fight, but only on 7 weeks' notice. And at this stage of your career for a world title unification, 7 weeks isn't a long enough time for a camp, is it?
no, I think I feel like it's very disrespectful for towards me. I was disrespected from that. I feel like um, obviously I went up all them weights and stuff, and I've come back down to my natural weight. But I'm still doing a weight cut. I've still got to make the weight, and I've been there before where I've killed myself to make weight, which were at 9 stone 4, and we saw what happened there against fight against Alicia. It just absolute. I just think the older you get, the more you realise how serious this sport is, and I just think there's no way I'm putting my health and anything at risk just to make a weight and get a payday. So for me, I want the best time to prepare for this fight and have a safe weight cut and go in there and we both can give each other a great fight. So
Well, we look forward to May 23rd. I just want to pick your brains on a few of the big topics going around in the boxing world right now. One of them that I find really interesting that I want to bring up here. We've seen Jake Paul have a big influence on female boxing at the moment, especially with MVP and all the fighters he's signing. While Jake does get his fair share of criticism, are you happy to see what he's doing for female boxing? And he's really giving it a new platform, I guess you could say.
yeah, of course, 100%. Like if you look at some of the shows, like over in the UK with some of the big promoters, they were really pushing women's boxing at one point, and I feel like that's kind of died off a little bit. So it's great to see Jake Paul come in and really take over and put the women in the spotlight and give them a great platform like with Netflix and stuff. And like what's to criticize about that? Really, I don't think there really is anything to criticize about it, and it's doing great things for us female fighters. So
And obviously the big show kicking off I guess you could say the Netflix deal with MVP is Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 3. Very rare that we see a trilogy despite someone being 2-0 up, but we've seen two razor close decisions between the two now. How do you see a third fight playing out between the pair of them?
It's just same as the last two year, Katie. I think Katie is a great fighter, and she's just got that little edge over Amanda. And I don't know if whether that's with styles, speed, whatever. But again, there's a reason why there's a third fight, and it's brought so many eyes and fresh eyes and a new audience to the sport, and it's bringing that attraction and that audience, and obviously these fights are selling, and that's obviously the reason why there's a trilogy. So again, I'll be tuning in, and I'm excited for the fight as a boxing fan. And yeah, I just think it's brilliant the way women's boxing's moving, and I think there's some great big mega fights to be made.
Absolutely. You mentioned mega fights. There is one taking place this weekend. I want to take a different angle looking at obviously Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. You mentioned, almost having to kill yourself basically to make weight when you were going down to a weight that's just a bit too big for him. We've seen a lot of talk about the weight regarding Chris Eubank Jr. We know there's a rehydration clause for the next morning. How damaging could that be for him having to not just get down to weight, but then only be able to rehydrate by 10 further pounds?
I think Chris is obviously comfortable with knowing he can make that weight and stuff, and obviously he's happy um, with what's been agreed and the weight and stuff. So yeah, I do think I do find those the rehydration clauses a bit crazy, really. But yeah, it just depends how much Chris really is taking out of himself to make that weight. But again, we'll only know on the night.
So lastly, how do you see the fight unfolding on Saturday night between the two?
Um, for me, I'm going for Eubank just because of how emotionally invested Conor Benn gets, and I feel like Eubank really plays the game of just sitting back and really watching it all unfold, and is the master of it, obviously mind games and stuff. And like I said, I think whoever's got the strongest mindset going into the fight is the winner. For me, as an outsider looking in, I feel like at the minute that's Eubank. So
Well, Terry, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Really good to
no
catch up.
problem.
And we look forward to May 23rd, where you headline Doncaster Stadium. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.